Hi, in today's video, we're going to speak about how to deal with overwhelm in life and in work. We'll discuss what's on the other side of overwhelm, what's the possibility, how raising our consciousness and taking inspired action can help us deal with the anxiety caused by overwhelm. We'll understand how overwhelm might actually be an unconscious addiction. I'll share a bit about my story and the story of one of my clients, and then I'm going to share with you a 5-step quality of life process that I've created that I promise you, if applied, will completely transform your experience. This is important to you because overwhelm steals your present moment awareness. Essentially, it steals your life force, your livelihood. It brings you into anxious energy and confused energy, which puts you into fight or flight, and that keeps you from thinking creatively. If you're not thinking creatively, you're simply thinking in old conditioning, and your mind is actively waiting and expecting for something to go wrong. In today's world, we are being fed with propaganda nonstop that only adds to the fear-based conditioning, and it's up to us to raise our consciousness and focus on what we can actually control. And this can only happen when we create spaciousness and order in our lives so that we can show up as good models for society. I want you to become aware that most people that deal with overwhelm on a consistent basis have actually developed a habit. A habit is another name for addiction. We are animals of adaptation. That means that the more we do something, the more that we feel something, the more that we are drawn to doing it, to thinking it, and to feeling it. The trick here is to create a new habit. And this is actually very simple. Yet it's not easy because it requires a lot of energy to create a new neural pathway, a new pattern of being or healthy addiction. So this will require more self-care, more time to restore, better nutrition. It would require you to take better care of yourself and create a greater sense of safety so that you can feel encouraged to bring in this extra intensity into your life. The first thing we need to do is to create understanding for what is the current pattern, whether it's self-sabotaging behaviors, negative self-talk, unwillingness to feel empowered because that might mean even more responsibility, or all of the above. You want to become aware of what the pattern is. And then we want to get clear with what we desire. What do we want to feel like? What do we want to manifest into the world? Why? Why is that important to us? I am a natural empath and creator. I love creating. I'm so good at taking a strong action in the beginning, and then short after, in the past, I would lose all desire to continue doing it, all energy. I would feel all the resistance, and short after just go back into procrastination and perfectionism, which would just keep me in analysis paralysis or frozen in indecision. So if you relate to this, I want you to know that there is a way to overcoming overwhelm, and even a possibility to use it as a way to support yourself in having a better quality of life, of reducing stress, of actually using it as a way to help you embody more of what you're here to do. My client Stephanie shared with me that before working together, her mind would go in circles and keep her in anxious energy, just in indecision. It would get in her way of being articulate and sharing her message for her business, which is one of the main reasons she came to me for. She wanted to be very clear on who she was so that she could be the embodiment of her message. And after doing this work together, she feels inspired in taking action. She's in alignment. She has so many things on her plate, and yet she's propelled to do them because she knows that she's the one that put them there. They are things that actually interest her, that she wants to explore and develop. She's excited to do them on a consistent basis. She's no longer, these are her words, I am no longer waiting for somebody to come and rescue me. I feel empowered to do the things I want to do. So here's a 5-step quality of life process. The first one is simply awareness. Developing mindfulness is fundamental for you to be able to know what are the stories that are running your life, bringing the unconscious into the conscious, paying attention to what are the thoughts and the consistent feelings. It's important for you to develop that sensitivity. And for that, what can support that is mindfulness, meditation, brain dumps like journaling, taking consistent action to actually purge the thoughts in your mind and pay attention. Eventually you'll find out that you're actually listening to an old record, that you're listening to an old record that is on repeat mode. And when you do that, you start to disidentify from it and know that that's just the pattern, that that's not creative. A good way to stick to this is to actually create a place, a sacred place in your home where you can go to do the mind dump and to get present with what's going on in your mind without trying to not have thoughts, but actually paying attention to all the thoughts without engaging in them, so you can get to know what are the consistent patterns, what are the consistent thoughts. In this stage of awareness, you also want to lean into the feelings. Oftentimes what causes like this overwhelm and anxiety is our resistance to actually having an emotion fully move through us. So remember that anything you resist, especially emotions, will only expand in size. They will only grow in size. So having this time and this sacred space for you to pay attention to your thoughts and give space for your feelings to move through is actually what allows you to cleanse the illusion and to become aware of what are old records and old unconscious addictive feelings that are just like part of the repetition cycle. And then it'll allow you to uncover what's underneath that. See, your feelings are actually very, very important. They're like the symptoms that are trying to show you what's out of alignment. They are your allies. If you stop resisting them and actually feel them, lean into them, then you can say, what's the opposite? What else do I want to feel? Right? If I get clear on what I'm feeling, then it's way easier for me to actually become aware on what I want to feel. So that's the second step, is to get clear on what you want. Once you've noticed and become aware of the unconscious repetitive patterns, write them down. You write them down and then you look for the opposite. What's the opposite of that? If the repetitive pattern or story is something like, I never get it right, I take too long, I don't know enough, I'm not good enough, then perhaps you can create a new pattern that says something like, I am mastering taking action on the things that matter to me. Every day I get better at showing up for myself. And then you choose the behavior that supports that thought. The third step is for you to focus on controlling what you can and let go of an expectation or attachment to how it's going to show up. Life is only happening right here. We're not promised tomorrow. So what helps us live in meaning and excitement for our life is to do things that are in alignment with what we make us stand for, with what's important to us, with what we value. So a 3-step question could be, what do I want? Why is that important for me? And what am I willing to do about it? And then do the action, do something about it. That's something that you can control. The 4th step is to find support. You do not have to do this alone. Whether it's a friend that can stay neutral with you, a therapist or a coach, you can find someone that can help you hold the vision and keep you accountable for the new decisions and the new beliefs that you are choosing to apply in your life until you can hold them for yourself, until they become a part of your habitual way of being, which is essentially what builds your character. I invite you to be kind, patient, loving to yourself. Think about taking micro shifts on a consistent basis rather than making a big shift in your life and then creating more unsafety and shift that would actually add to anxiety and overwhelm. Less more often instead of a big thing and then dropping the ball, big action and then dropping the ball. The 5th step is to use overwhelm, the energy, the thoughts, the negative patterns, as an alarm system that goes off in your head to remind you of your new decisions, to remind you of your new affirmations and your new actions. So if you hear the pattern, the old record playing again, you're not good enough, you're not moving fast enough, then you can just use that as an alert system to remind you, oh, I already made a new choice. I made a new decision. I know what to do. And in taking the action, there is an ease that moves through your body because you are living in purpose. If you find this information useful, let's connect. You can go to Sandra True for more information on my services and programs, and perhaps get on a call with me. Thank you so much. Have a beautiful rest of your day.